Hello there, and welcome to a last edition for the year. And I decided to invite my friends, and we just sit back and look at 2008. If our expectations were met, like that from God, from friends, and they hope to stay here, spend time with me, and then wish ourselves Happy New Year and kick off into the new year. Well, they'll introduce themselves. They're my friends, and the most important thing, I'm sure they are friends too, because I'm sure you practically know every face on this sitting here. To my far left.
Oh, my name's Gloria Nash.
Alero.
Remy.
And Yudi. See you after this time out. Okay, Remy.
Yes.
Alero. Gloria. Nice to have you.
Thank you.
When you look back, 2008, how has it been? My own 2008, if you ask me, it's been a walk of faith, especially on this program. It's been tough. And I remember most of the places I've gone to for sponsorship, advert is always downplay on the Jesus Christ, change the title, the religion is too much in our faces. So it's been a walk of faith that this program has been still on air till today. And I believe that it will still be on air for the coming year.
Amen.
So what's yours been like? That's for the program. Still coming back to talk about me. So
Okay, well, 2008 for me has been awesome. You know, God took me from there to here. And in the year 2008, I began to teach in the church. I never used to do that. I began to teach. I had come from a small church, you know, and I actually mounted the pulpit and began to teach. So I teach in the church now. A lot of people, if I tell them in my office, they will never believe it. I wasn't the kind of person that would be teaching, but I teach now. And I found that...
you thought you were not the kind of person.
Yeah, but God sees
it. Yes, God sees it.
You know, my pastor just told me, Remy, you're going to start teaching. I said, me? I said, I can't. I have to go and learn like Moses did. Go and study. And he said, no. God will put the words in your mouth. And he did. And it's been awesome. You see, you find that each day, I got to start reading the Bible. And you know, once you begin to read the Bible, it opens up to you.
Lightens up, yes.
Yes.
Remy, you're really surprising me because
Yes.
you didn't look like the
Churchy
churchiest
person.
one we say.
I don't look churchy. You don't have to. You don't look churchy.
I don't.
You don't have to be churchy to be church. The church is you. It's in you.
What's the way you look got to do with anything?
No, it has to do with society, you know, because they believe that if you're a church person, I remember somebody
gonna be
said
drab.
your hair shouldn't be gold. And I remember when God gave me this program, I said, should I change my look? The Lord said, no, because I can only use somebody like you to reach people like you.
Exactly.
I look at some people and I say to them, you can never preach Christ to me, because the Christ that I know doesn't look
Like you.
like you. And if you don't look like this, I don't want to know the Christ that you know.
Yeah, I remember that saying when I was younger about the best things come from God. So the best things have to belong to Him.
That's true.
You don't have to be drab and no earrings and no makeup because you are of the Lord.
Because that is
Well,
where
I personally feel that, you know, the Bible is quite clear that each of us must work at our own salvation.
Salvation.
with fear and
Exactly.
trembling.
Exactly.
So a lot of the things that we do are personal choices as to how we feel we should serve the Lord. Okay?
How we
No, but a
feel,
lot of
how,
the time-
how we feel, or
hold on,
how we.
hold on. How we feel we should serve the Lord. You're not wearing earrings. It's a personal decision. There's nowhere in the Bible
No,
that it
sometimes
says
it's
you
not.
should
No,
do
no,
that.
that's not your
It's the
personal
church.
decision, but the church.
church
That's what
boxes
I'm
you.
saying.
Hold on.
And-
If
and
you
people
see,
going who
you
play
see
the
when you
sitar.
say that,
Yes.
if you went to a church where they said to you, "Don't wear earrings," would you stay there?
I won't.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
because
why
I
I'm
know
saying that
better.
it is a
Because I know
personal
better.
thing. No, that's why I'm saying it's a
It's-
personal. For some people, they need to be told what to do.
And that is
There
when
are people
I
who
believe
are
that
like
people
that.
succeed in
why
that
do
way.
they need to be told what to do?
Because
This thing is a
each
personal
of-
thing
no, no,
between
Because
no,
they have
you
not
and
had
God.
come to have a personal
Personal
relationship.
I told you
and
this.
they have not come
because they
to have
have
a
not had a
relationship
personal relationship
with Him.
with God.
Yes.
When you know who God
Yes.
is in your life, you know it's not about the outside.
Indeed.
Okay,
Exactly.
it's at
We are
God-
digressing.
Yes, we are. Actually, we are.
And
And I also
Yes,
repeat that
yes,
because
yes,
she's
yes.
got
Okay,
it.
Remy,
She got it.
sorry.
Sorry,
Sorry, Remy.
Yes.
Sorry.
Well, I'll just conclude that it's been transforming for me. And you know that since I began to teach in the church, a lot of things changed about me. And my pastor tells me, do you know that since you began to work for God, things have been working out for you? And it is true. Once you give your all to God, it takes care of everything.
That's true. That
The
is
things
very
that I've desired, I'm telling you, in 2000, that which I desired to do, God just put it in my lap effortlessly. I didn't have to pay a dime for it. But see, what I'm doing now is what I've always wanted to do. And I'm talking about my job. I've always wanted to do exactly what I'm doing now. And God just brought it like that. And I just say, Lord, there's virtue and it's worthy to serve God. And in serving Him, you don't have to begin to condemn people or expect people to behave in
Be like
particular
you.
ways.
Yes.
I don't expect anything from anybody. Because the way I relate to God is different from the way you relate or the way any one of us
That is
will.
true.
Because God is not like you used to say. It's not. We shouldn't box Him in a little corner and just say, okay, this is God. Let Him be this.
Yes.
He's different
Let
things
him
to
be there.
everybody. Yes.
Remy, I
That's
couldn't
what-
agree with
yes.
you more. Sometime in 2007, I almost shut down my office because the challenges were just overwhelming me. And then I just said to myself, I think what you're missing is Him. So I said to him, I will not have any relationship with a man, as in a physical relationship, because I'm going to ask you for this favor. Make my company survive. That's all I ask. And he kept his word to me. In 2008, we were rolling in it. Clients were coming in, our events were doing better, and I just said, well, it can't be any other reason. It must be this reason that I gave a promise and he kept his promise to me. So 2008 was, like you say, I didn't borrow your word, it was awesome where my work was concerned.
Yes.
I had a good year. And I'm praying that 2009 will be even better.
We'll get to 2009.
Yes.
Okay.
But I'm also asking him to give me a husband.
You see, the thing is that God says, "I will grant you the desires of your heart." He also says that it's not good that man should be
I
alone.
hope nobody heard that.
No, I heard that. And I didn't. And I blend my faith with yours that you will get not just a husband for
The
just getting a
husband, yeah.
husband, a husband that
The
will
one
love
that
God.
the Lord has chosen for me.
The one.
The one that will love God and will be able to love you.
Yeah.
Irrespective of.
Yes.
Amen.
Amen. Okay.
Okay. We should be going on the break now. And when we come back, we'll continue with Alera.
Okay.
Welcome back. Sorry, there's so much goodies in front of me, I couldn't help but pick a few things and throw in my mouth while we were on that little break. That was my 2008. What about you, Gloria?
All I can say is I bless God. I've had a very challenging year.
It is well.
It is well.
It is very well.
Well,
You know, sometimes
It wasn't supposed to happen like that.
Gloria lost her dad in 2008, and they were very close. So I can understand the tears. And to her, even though she has a very loving husband, it takes getting used to when you lose your dad. And I believe that time is a healer.
Did you
Yes,
say your
yes,
dad?
Yes.
Steve Rhodes was more than being Gloria's dad. He was dad to many people, many young people who sang with him from when they were young, like I did. Steve Rhodes was, he was a man of stature. We lost him. Well, 2008 took a lot of entertainers and
Yes, it
musicians
did.
with
Yes,
it.
It really did.
It for me, it's been a very trying year. But there are two things I've learned in life through all my experiences and everything. I know for sure 100% that there is a God.
Yes. That's right.
And I know that I am not him.
It
It's
does
as
have to
simple as
please
that. It's as simple as that. If you don't see the hand of God in everything that happens to you, then life doesn't make sense.
Yes.
Okay? And once you have that faith and you understand who God is, and you understand He's all present, all knowing, all powerful, then there's no point in being afraid, because you know that the God you serve is in control. Your life is His. It's really not about you, it's about God and what God wants for you and what He wants of you. His word says that the thoughts that He has towards you are good and not of evil, to bring you to an expected end, right? So it's very easy for me to say, why did you take my father? Why did you let me go through all of this? In this same year, my husband has lost his brother. It's been a very trying year, but I also know that, there are lots of cliches we hear all the time, If He's taken me to it, He will take me through it. There is a reason why He has allowed me to experience this now, because death is a part of life. We're all going to die, right? But when you, as the person who is experiencing it, has the opportunity to experience it, I feel that it reinforces who God is. It reinforces His power. It reinforces His importance in your life. And it also makes you reflect and value every single thing that you have, that you are, that you will do, that you desire, etc., etc., I always say to people, when people see money, how you always say, how are you, how's everything? I always say, I bless God. I woke up this morning and some people didn't.
That's true.
So if I did, it means He hasn't finished with me.
True. That's right.
So even though it's been a challenging year, I bless God for the year. I had a 2008. Some people didn't even see, my father died in May. He didn't even see the middle of the year. Do you know what I mean? I've had a 2008, and for that time, I thank the Lord. I would like to believe that in that 2008 I have grown in my walk with the Lord, because your walk with the Lord is an adventure.
Yes, it is.
It really is an adventure,
Yes.
And you have to be open to hearing Him. You have to be willing to do what it is He wants you to do. You have to trust Him when He takes you down a path and you think to yourself, that's not where I want to go, or that doesn't make sense, or why is He doing this?
The experiences you have to, you learn along the way.
Yes, and everything, you have to trust Him implicitly that He is your God and that He wants nothing but the best for you. And I feel that that's what I've had in 2008.
And I'm sure a lot of the things that were said about your dad, the way he was celebrated on the pages of newspapers, television, the great things they said about him must have really, occasionally when you
Reflect on it.
yes, they strengthen you.
It's a very funny thing. I'm not upset that he died. Do you understand? Because death is a part of life. It's something we talked about. My father and I were very, very practical with each other, If I die, this is what I want. And he told me if he dies, this is what he wants. He actually said he wanted to be buried in 72 hours. But because he died in England,
Yes, you had
we
to
couldn't
plan because the
fulfill that.
so
Yes, we couldn't fulfill it. But it's the way he died. It's the things he went through. You don't like to see your loved one suffer. You don't like to see your loved one fear, doubt, all the kinds of emotions that he went through. Those are the things I find difficult. It's not that he died, not at all. He was 82, for goodness sake, He lived a good life, he touched lives, And as Alero said, he was a father to many people. It wasn't just to us, but I happen to have a particular bond with him. So I think that's why, for me it's a bit more difficult. But I bless God for his life. I bless God for the gift that he gave me of having him as a father. Do you understand?
Yes.
And I bless God for the relationship I had with him. Some children don't have a relationship with their fathers at all, or they don't have the kind of relationship I had with my father. My father was my best friend, and I bless God for that. Everything in my life is in God's hands, and these are the gifts He gave me, and I bless Him for it. So, it's been a trying year, but it's been a year, and I thank God for that.
What you just said about having that kind of relationship with your father being your best friend, that is so strange in this society, where your father is somebody that you are utterly in awe of. And you can't relate. So how do you sit down with your father and gist? You know what I mean? Say everything to your dad. That is so strange.
Maybe because I believe that. I don't know, because I became friends with my dad after much later. But in the beginning, I was in awe of him. And, in fact, I remember I got married early because I needed to run away from home. He was very strict. So the first man that said, "Will you marry me?" We're married in 2 weeks. But all of that. When I look at my daughter, it makes me happy that I did that. I guess
you have a relationship with her.
Fantastic.
Mothers have relationship with their daughters.
Not all mothers.
Well, okay, we'll come back to the expectations for the country in 2009 just after this little break. See you shortly. Yeah, welcome back. Now, 2008. I'd like to look at Nigeria. I'd like to look at my country in 2008. There were all kinds of disappointments, really. The president didn't seem to be moving as fast as we wanted. There still was no power, and there still isn't, sadly. But we can't give up hope.
But one good thing I know about 2008 for the country? We didn't have those plane crashes that were so rampant.
Thank you, Jesus. So
and
someone did something right.
Somebody
in
did
that
something
sector.
right. Most people in Nigeria know of God.
And a lot of times things in Nigeria is a trend. A lot of things. It is a trend now for you to say that you are a born again Christian.
Yeah.
Not everybody. That's why I, like you said, you have to have had that personal experience with God. And it's not necessary, a lot of people, when you ask them how did they become born again Christians, they will tell you they had some terrible experience, etc., etc. I can't say that. I didn't have a terrible experience that made me decide that I wanted to serve God. It was just, what is the point of life? Let me even give this God a chance. And He never, He's never let me down. But for a lot of people, because everything, you start one eatery, then there are 10,000 on one street. All of a sudden it's. When we were in the Steve Rhodes Voices, if you wore Ankara, people looked down on you. Now it is a trend. You saw it. You saw an up and down now for 25,000 naira, even though you bought one at 1,800. Do you understand what I mean? Everything is a trend, particularly in a city like Lagos. That is a very vibrant, moving city. There has to be change all the time. So a lot of things are trends, fashionable, and that's the reason why it's very. A lot of people say that they know God, they are born again Christians, they're in it but they're not of it.
But they don't know the first thing about it.
That is true.
And I think that's why I keep on saying it's very important to be looking at yourself and your walk with God. It's very easy for us to criticize Nigeria and say that we haven't done this, we have a lot of problems. True, they're man-made. But I think that it's very important for people to always bear in mind that a lot of the problems that we face as a nation, other countries have faced those problems and have fallen apart. Wars for years and years and years. People are fighting each other. Ethnic wars, tribal wars, religious wars. We've had all of that in Nigeria, and this country still stands.
Still standing.
You cannot possibly say that God's hand is not on this country. You can't. So even though we have all these difficulties and all these disappointments, yes, I know you want NEPA. It's very expensive buying petrol to fill your generator every day. Are you one of those people who spends 2,000 naira every day buying petrol for your generator? I know, it's tiresome, it's annoying, it's irritating, etc., etc., but don't give up. God hasn't finished with us. Believe me, there is a special purpose for this nation in this time. I believe that very strongly.
And if you remember the mind-boggling figures we hear related to corruption, and you just say to yourself, all this money has been stolen
By
and
one
this country
person.
isn't on its knees.
But you know the good thing about this whole thing? Many years back, people just stole and they got away with it. The thing is that the governors or ministers, even if they don't end up being jailed, the disgrace is enough. That people know that you stole.
But they still rush and welcome them.
They still rush and welcome them, but
It's
they're
about
fine
process.
with that
It takes
stigma.
time.
You still
But there are
regard them
fewer
with
people
suspicion.
doing
But
it now.
at least the
than-
stigma.
I suppose it's
There are
true.
fewer
It's
people
true.
doing
You
that.
know,
now.
the
You
people
still
And you know-
regard
you
them
know,
with some disdain.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know the bottom line of this whole thing. I'll tell you an experience. I went to Cross River State to do some work, and I was sitting down. I was talking to the first lady, and she was telling me. She said, she had asked one of her aides to go to the revenue office to sort out things, and the man came back and said to her, "Can you imagine? They were asking me for my tax returns. That in all his years, nobody has ever asked him whether he has paid tax." So she said, "Well, I'm sorry, but this is the way things are done in Cross River State.
No.
If you
Turning
haven't
point.
paid, at least they will know you haven't paid, and from now on you will begin to pay tax." But it's those little seeds that, as they get planted, they become a way of life. We have to break down a lot of old habits, a lot of old mindsets, etc., to begin to move in the direction in which we want. But it's happening. You don't see it as in wham, all of a
It's
sudden
true. It's a
everything is
gradual
working
thing.
properly. It's a gradual thing. Even our walk with the Lord, the way
It's a
you were when
gradual-
you first met the Lord is
Not
different
same
from the
thing.
way you are
walk,
now.
You fall, you get up,
Yeah,
you dust
so
yourself.
I prefer not to think about disappointments. I prefer to think about, the positive
Look on the
things.
good side of things.
Well, I did say there was still hope. Nigeria is still one country.
Yes.
Nigeria is still alive. So,
And we still have some good people.
And
We do.
we're a very strong,
We do.
resilient nation.
oh,
You can't, you see Nigerians, they're always smiling despite everything. Somebody has gotten up at 4 o'clock in the morning to catch bus to go to Lagos to work. And he's going to sit in a bus for 4 hours to get home.
I'm not
Then
sure
when he
that
gets
is to our
home,
advantage,
there'll be no
you
lights,
know.
there'll be no water, and he's still going to clean his house before he
That's
I'm
why,
sure
that's
that is
why,
to
that's why
our
we have not
advantage,
broken. That's why.
Gloria.
No,
That's why
but
there
the
has not
point
been
I'm
that
saying
split
is
because
that
of
you
the
see
resilience
the
of the
people,
Nigerian.
you see people still smiling
Yes.
despite all this, and they do this day in,
maybe
day
if
out.
we stopped smiling, maybe then our rulers would actually
if
do
we stop being
something and not take
complacent.
us so much for granted.
If we stop being complacent,
If
perhaps
we
they will.
asked them more questions, maybe they would get up and do something for
Yeah, but that
us.
doesn't mean we shouldn't be smiling while we're doing it.
Well, we're smiling, yeah, but at some
But
point
we
we should
cannot start asking questions with our smiles.
put a frown on our faces and ask them some questions. You said you're going to build this road, you haven't built it, and not smile through it
But
all.
we're doing that now. You have
Yeah,
the
people are a lot
consent
more
group,
questioning,
different
yeah.
groups who are not questioning. Like you have the opposition who are not saying, look, you said you're going to use this money for this. What have you used it for? You have individuals who are getting up to say, look, you people spend so and so money to buy so many cars.
Justify.
We're
Justify
still
it.
not questioning enough.
No, but at least we're
But
starting.
at least we are.
We're doing,
We've
we-
started.
Before we
Which we
didn't
didn't
used
used
to. Oh.
Okay, so we've started to ask
Oh yes, we're
questions.
starting to ask questions. So that's a step in the right direction.
Yes,
Hopefully we'll
it
get
is.
there.
Well, 2008 has been a great year as far as I'm concerned. Because I think the most important thing is your walk with God. And even those who are still learning, who are still wobbly, I think along the line, if you go through encounters and difficulties and problems, you'll learn how to just anchor your hope. At least one thing you can say Nigerians haven't lost, even we haven't, is hope. As long as there's life, there's hope.
Indeed.
And this says hope maketh not ashamed. You know, and I believe that as we march into the new year, 2009, we'll still sit back and talk about our expectations for 2009, what we expect from the Lord, and believe that in our hearts we'll do it.
I'd like to add something. You know,
Yes.
you talked about hope.
Yes.
It takes me to Barack Obama, so I have to bring him.
But that's the
The
of hope.
I mean, we were following that election.
Did
and
you read
following
the
that
book?
man? Yes.
It's an awesome book, isn't
Awesome.
it? Awesome.
We're following as if it was us.
Yes.
We all lived his life. And what did we find so fascinating about the man? Is the hope that somebody could come up
Despite
from
everything,
that
yes.
place and be where he is. And so if you look at Nigeria, it gives all of us hope. Do you understand? And as we go into 2009, there is hope for every one of us. And for everyone who is watching today, there's hope.
Yeah.
And for as long as you are alive, hope is the
Keeps
candle.
you going. Keeps you going.
It's the candle.
The hope that there will be a better
There will
tomorrow.
always be a better tomorrow.
Well, we'll take a look at tomorrow. Thank thank you for joining us for this particular edition. And we pray that if you didn't have a wonderful 2008, 2009 will be better. We'll see you in 2009.
Like me, nobody can hate me, I'm blessed. Nobody can stop me, nobody can plate me, nobody can hate me, I'm blessed. Why? 'Cause I'm unbeatable.